So it's called clarifying the recollection. Means Jigten Sumgon has knowing the disciples' mental state. So he clarifies all the teachings that he received in his life. So here we also need to reflect the teachings that we received. I know you have received so many teachings in your life. You have met many great teachers, read many Dharma books, So you have a lot of wisdoms, but need to reflect on these teachings. And then we exercise our mind. So it's clear that what I'm talking, everyone can hear?
Yes. Okay.
So that's very important. So here I'm just reminding, just we need to reflect the Dharma teachings in our daily life. So Dharma practice is not just only for today, not just only for this life after life, eventually to free from samsara. That is the kind of say, principal point for we study, practice the Dharma. As always, I refresh you and remind, Dharma study is not just a religious training or some rituals training. This is a training of the mind to deconstruct the samsara and rebuild the nirvana, the enlightenment. Our mind is so much habituated about the habit of the samsara. Always we just go through the samsara effortlessly. We just entangle with that, and there's always we kind of face suffering, confusions, So which we don't desire that. We desire to peace and happiness. Not just only we Buddhists, but everyone in the samsara. They are working so hard to free from samsara, but it's very easy to entangle in the state of samsara. Effortlessly, we just fall into that. Something that we feel it is normal, without realizing how kind of artificial that is. How it is kind of saying poisonous, artificial, chemical it is. So Dharma teaching is the direct method help us to see this precisely, clearly, and gives us opportunity how to free from this and reflect on the nature of the mind, the pure, fresh nature of the mind, in the relative state, in the absolute state. So this is our Dharma study, Dharma practice is about, you see. So it is, well, so first off, we should all appreciate the opportunity what we have. And we should always rejoice good fortune we have that in this life we have connected Dharma study practice. Many countries, now especially in Asia, Dharma is there. They are called Buddhist country. But regular people have a very few chance to reflect on the Dharma. They think they are Buddhist, but they're very rare to reflect in the Dharma. It's very easy to trap in the ego, or this, our delusion. Just we sink in, we plunk in the samsaric state. Look at this, So now Dharma is everywhere. So well, especially now, just because of this, these technologies gives us more better opportunity to reflect on the Dharma teachings. So all whatever you are spending time to reflect Dharma is to refreshing your mind. As I mentioned, mind is no difference. We all desire for peace and happiness. There's no difference at all in that. We all desire to free from suffering, and there's no difference about that. Then on above that, the cause of suffering is the cause of suffering for everybody. It doesn't make difference of the belief system, culture. All the cause for peace and happiness is cause of peace and happiness for everybody, not just for individuals. So you see, the mind is such a complex, very, sophisticated, because all those modern technologies are produced because the mind has no limit. So because of that, there's no limit of producing this. Since mind has no limit, so Buddha should say, who realized the mind, and from that taught all this wisdom, the teachings so much. You can see the volumes and volumes and volumes of the Buddha's teaching there, taught from the mind. So the mind is such powerful. Some people think the mind is nothing but the brain. No, so brain has very limited, only a piece of flesh or matter, but mind is consciousness. It is clarity. It has such great clarity. It's as vast as the space, as deep as the ocean. Look at this, So because of this, everybody has the mind, and the nature of the mind is the same. Like say the four elements, everywhere you go, we all constitute, our body is constituted within these four elements. Doesn't matter what kind of color, size, we have, but the four elements is the foundation. So likewise, our mind has no color, mind has no matter. That's why we cannot touch the mind. Mind has no matter. That's why we can't see it. But it can see through the wisdom eye. From your own mind, you can see through the study, practice the Dharma teachings. Ordinary people in the world, they think a lot, so much, but they don't know about the mind. Where is the mind? What it will do? Have no idea. So that's why there's a complexity of the mind. So to penetrate the mind, we need such a great wisdom. That wisdom is within us. We need the Dharma to study, practice that. Dharma is the key to open the door of the mind. Without the Dharma, the key, we cannot open the door of the mind. So see, that's why we need to reflect in our own mind. Look at our ego, how much we are grasping our ego, fixated our ego, our ideas, our attachment, you see. So these need to release. We are our own teacher. Dharma teaches us the wisdom. The actual practice is we are our own. The outer teacher can help us, show us about this reality of the samsara nirvana. Now it is our inner teacher, whether you want to listen to this or not, whether your teacher is strong enough or not, we have to judge ourselves. We have to look ourselves inside. Because the outer assumption, the habit of our delusion is so kind of, it just takes you away. It takes all your attention and doesn't give us any opportunity, for ourselves, because it's just taking you away from that, So that's why we need these Dharma teachings, and then we need practice ourselves in our daily life. It's not just today or tomorrow I mention, or this life, at the time of death. Sometimes, as I mentioned, there's a teaching about, Bharto, say what happens at the time of death. And the teacher will explain all this about the death. There's a Bharto, there's called, before you die, at the time of death, after the death, there are many, the called Siva Bharto, the becoming existence of the Bharto, and Bharto of Dharmata. There's so many, but very important. Right now, we practice the Dharma. If we don't practice Dharma now, then at the time of death, there's no magic. All our attention will take away by all our whatever habituated. When we kind of connect to the attachment, when we connect to our aversion, our mind will connect to this direction. So if we don't have practice Dharma, if we practice Dharma now, then it helps now and all the way to the death and for the next life and eventually to free from samsara. So that is the importance of the Dharma study practice. As I mentioned, it is not a culture. It's not something special religious training. This is something how to reflect to our mind, and training of the mind is called training of the mind. So today, what this all teaching is about that. So I will no need to read all this explanation because we cannot finish this within 3 hours. What I'm going to do is just read the poem step by step. Before that, just this short introduction, just from the before the teachings of the song, you know. So as you know, this is taught by Lord Jigten Sumgon, is teaching. You know? So now many of you are very familiar about Jigten Sumgon. Now, he was direct reincarnation of Nagarjuna. That is very clear. And also, not only that, where he taught, or the teachings that he taught, is so precise, so clear, and penetrating. And he taught the interdependence, like the Nagarjuna's teaching is all within in the framework of interdependent. So Jigten Sumgon also taught Sakal, the outer interdependent, the inner interdependent, the secret interdependent, the ultimate interdependence. So all these different types of interdependence, you know, Jigten Sumgon taught. If we read his writings there, especially secret, all the chakra channel interdependent connections are very precisely taught, that no other teacher taught that. You know? So that's how Jigten Sumgon was. So he is once when Jigten Sumgon was residing at Dikung Til. So Dikung is the area or northeast of Lhasa, you know, in Tibet, and he's established a monastery there called Til, Dikung Til Monastery. He gathered together about 30 of his very close disciples, students, in a meadow behind the monastery, and asked them to perform display of their miracle powers. All they did, you know, in the detailed explanation, there are some described. Some kind of fly in the sky. Some at that moment visited India. Even his cook, you know, he kind of hang on his ladles and tea strainer in the sunbeam, so forth. But one were able to complied with their guru's request. Only one could not. And this disciple, who's called Rinchen, so at that moment, suddenly he got a shock, and then he just passed away. You know? Suddenly from shame, something like shocking, you know. When he could not perform any of those, when the undertakers tried to dismember his body to feed to the vultures, the body resists the knife. So that was informed to Jigten Sumgon. So then Jigten Sumgon directly understood how his mental position stayed there. So that time, then Jigten Sumgon placed his walking stick on the heart center of the corpse, the dead body, and sang this song. So I vow at the feet of glorious Pamutuba is his teacher. I listen Rinchen, my son. So now Jigten Sumgon, through his great wisdom, compassion, penetrating his direct teaching to that his disciple, Rinchen, who's died. Like my son is just showing So his heart son is now Dharma that he taught. From that he was born. So showing his great concern, compassion, wisdom. Then said, Ka at the time of death, Ka means hello, hi, Worldly activities are alive. So you see these worldly activities, everything's alive, means everything is impermanent. They come and go. So we no need to attach to this. See, all these 8 holy concerns, as we spoke last time, during the time of Paul Damas of Kampupa, everywhere, rich or poor, so much concern, this 8 holy concern, attachment, gain, lose, comfort, discomfort, see, fame, disgrace, and then say praise, then disregard, like these things are so much in the samsara, everywhere, regardless of the culture. This 8 holy concern is the culture of the samsara. So these all are just now, Jigten Sumgon saying, it's just a display. We are so much involved in this, but at the end of the day, they will not really help you. They only give us suffering. How much we have to work hard to gain the wealth. So much involved in that, you see, mentally. Once we gain, how much suffering is there to protect them. Then at the end, it loses, and how much suffering there. It's reality, nature. It's not saying these are bad, but how much people go through this. Just reflect directly. All the Buddha's teachings are like this, you see. Sometimes people think, oh, Buddha's teachings are so negative, discourage you to become rich or wealthy. No, it is not that. There's nothing wrong to be a wealthy, rich, but how much we go through this. Once we had them, how much we have. Go through all these different states. Those are very realistic, As I mentioned, if we know how to appreciate, rejoice, then that brings all the peace and happiness. See? So it's interesting, we say, the worldly activities are alive. The 8 worldly dharmas, dharma means phenomena, are like the colors of the rainbow. You see this very good example. When you look at the rainbow color, so beautiful, it's so fresh. You are breathtaking, beautiful, but you cannot wear it. You cannot keep it. It just appears and disappears. So the 8 holy concern is like that. You see, they come and go. If we try to keep the rainbow in your room, it's crazy, So that's the release the attachment to this, saying, concern about this. So So think, can you put your trust in them? So can you really, trust means, can you really get benefit from this? So as I mentioned, this morning I got a good breakfast. I appreciate that. I rejoice that. I feel happy about that, no? So now I got good breakfast. I'm so happy. Anybody who provides me breakfast, I rejoice that. I feel happy. And that gives me such great joy. But I should learn not to attach to this. I should learn how to content that, appreciate that. Then, sir, not just only I attach to that, but I can appreciate all in the world, because this breakfast I got is not just from one thing. It involves so many people in the world. It's interdependent. So I appreciate everybody. No? All the farmers, all the people who are working on this, how much it depends on, you know. So I just should say, I send my appreciation to everyone. That's my responsibility. Then I cultivate bodhicitta. May everybody free from samsara. No? So that a bowl of that breakfast that I received, there's a lot of things to practice Dharma there. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So look at these. That's Dharma practice is about. See? Then tomorrow, I don't know. No, I hope I'll get again a good breakfast, but who knows? But just today, I appreciate, rejoice, and I should content what that is. No, I got all things that I need. So this is what now here Jigten Sumgon will say. You cannot trust fully means you cannot, your all happiness cannot rely on this eight worldly concern. In other words, the eight worldly concern will not give you full satisfaction, happiness. No? They come and go. See. So that's he's telling his disciple, Rinjeta. So don't concern about that. Don't concern about somebody saying bad things about you. So, oh, don't worry about it. It's their opinion. Everybody in the world, you don't expect, will say good things about you. Some will say good things about you. Some will say bad things about you. But they are all like an echo. So I say, meditate on this. Rinjeta has received these teachings before, many times, but at that moment he forgot. So that reminded Jigten Sumgon to, this is how about this. So that also we remind ourselves in our daily life. When you work, you appreciate, I got a job. It involves so many people around here. I appreciate, I rejoice. I'm so grateful. These people, because of them, I got this job. I got this food. No? And reduce our attachment, our ego, self-grasping. Because the attachment is not easy to release. It's very strong, like a very thin thread. No thread, you know, the thread. Some big threads are very easy to break, but there's some thin threads, so strong. If you try to break, it hurts your hands, it cuts your finger. So attachment is like that. So release these attachment, then appreciate, respect. So these are I'm just using a common sense, not high philosophical words, but we can use in our daily life. The practice of Dharma. That's what Buddha taught. Buddha taught is very simple teachings. Then next, what is saying here is, when you see the separation of gathered friends, the affection of relatives and friends is a lie. Heartfelt words are like an echo. Think, can you put your trust in them? So this again is our attachment, our relative in the family. Look at, your partner. When some partner, they leave, how painful that is because of the attachment. When I'm so attached to the other one, when we separate, then there's such a pain. It's heartbreaking. See how much suffering is there. And then there are some, our family dying because of attachment. Then you say, oh, this is a please don't go, I love you, all these things, So you can't let go, I have some friends, because I'm getting old. So those friends who I met early in the 80s, now they are also old. Some are dead. So the husband or wife who left, and they're so attached to this. Then they're just writing me, so I'm so concerned about that. I love them and just gone, so we can't let go, So then I just try to tell, it's all impermanence, gone, It doesn't make much difference, you're attached to that, but you just say prayers, you practice Dharma for them. They don't get it. There's no space in the mind. See? And then I can't tell too much. Then it's something like that. I'm teaching them, say, get rid of, But I can see their pain in the heart. So much, you see. So we prepare those. This doesn't mean don't care. It's very important. Sometimes they get the offense. So that means you don't attach, meaning you don't care about them. That's not the point. The point is you care, you respect, you give all the support you can out of love, out of respect. But pernicious attachment doesn't solve the problem. Not only to solve the problem, but it makes more suffering. It's suffering to yourself, how much suffering is there. And then how much suffering is there, those who are going to die. See? So much there, you see. So that's his here, Jigten Sumgon saying, don't attach so much. You practice bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta to all the sentient beings equally. Don't discriminate. And that's the you get the benefit. And they get the benefit. Because when you care those out of compassion, they get more benefit. Then you attach to them. When we're attached to that, those individuals, they also feel so difficult. There's so much pain in their heart because can't let go. And we both have the pain so much, and we don't need that suffering. So say, practice this. It just cannot happen in today, tomorrow, in one day or few days, year after years. No. If we practice emptiness, still the attachment is there. Like say, how much we practice emptiness, our ego is still there, isn't it? How many of you have been practicing Mahamudra, emptiness? Many years, so many years, but still our ego is so strong, isn't it? I must, because I'm saying from my mind, my point, you know, from my limitation. I meditate in the emptiness like the space, but my ego is there, so strong, you know. So Jim, practice this step by step, slowly. So just remind to yourself, bring into your heart, bring into your mind what it makes sense. Once you release these pernicious attachment, your mind feels so relaxed. Then you have so much things to give. You have a lot of resource to give. When you give this, you feel so comfortable because you give without attachment. You give what you have. Anything, you see, and you can do so much in the world. That's why the great bodhisattvas, they're reborn repeatedly without fear, without attachment, and they benefit so many sentient beings. See, so look at this, meditate on this. That's is called Dharma practice. See, it's not just, you sit there, chant mantra, visualize things, or these things. Those are just a way we to kind of follow the path. We do these things. The actual Dharma practice is just freshing your mind, cleaning your mind. No, let this garbage go. This garbage, just let go. So that's what's here, Jigten was saying, you see, when you see the separation of gathered friends, the affection of relatives and friends is alive, because you cannot get all the benefit from them. You cannot give them also all the benefit. No matter how much you have such a strong love, attachment, how much you can give. You cannot give so much. Only we do is just we cry. No, I love you so much, we cry. hold their hands. Please don't go. We can say that much. Other than that, what you can say. But if you have great wisdom, compassion, then you can help them. How you can free their mind from the delusion. See, to achieve complete enlightenment. Thus you see. Then next is when you see the growth and the decline of the four elements of the body, the illusion of strength and ability is also a lie. The atom flower of the fall of the atom flower of youth, can you put your trust in it? See, now it's looking to our own body. It's first here looking at the eight holy concern. Next to your families, friends. Now the third one, look at your body. The five skandha we have. This body has the five skandha. No. The five aggregates. Because of this body, we have body. Then there's a feeling. Then there's a perception. And then mental formation and consciousness, you see. This is what now our body is, what we call. Now look at this. When you're growing as a child, youth, you're so beautiful, shining, and physically strong. You can practice gymnastics. You can play all sorts of things, tennis, football, soccer, badminton, all this you can play. You're so talented. You're so good about this. Because I used to play badminton. I was good about that. It was in the late 60s, early 70s. Even when I came to US in the early 80s, I used to play badminton. So, because wearing rope, and that doesn't contradict. But now you see, my knees are not doing well. Pains, different places. So you see, this my same body. Once it was beautiful, young, talented, strong. I can run, jump, see? All this I can do. I can carry a heavy load on my back, shoulder. See? All this I can do. Because these four elements, they're so young. They're supporting me to do all those things. I can eat well. I'm not concerned what should I eat, this good or not good, I eat what I get. and no problem. You see, now you look, see, you have to be very careful what you are eating. You see, you go to store, I should eat this, I should not eat this is good for me, this is not good for me. So you have to be very selective. And then I get sick very easily. I become so fragile. Before I was like a rock. Now so fragile. Make sense? So look at these, you see. So just meditate on this, reflect on this. Everything's up and down, rich and poor, young and old. You know? Meditate on this. See. So I should not said, I should not attach so much to this body. Doesn't mean don't carry your body. Of course you carry your body, but don't attach so much. See? And then reflect on this precious human life, you see. Means this body, what we have, it made a condition that we to study, practice Dharma. 18, it has 18 favorable conditions. We need all those 18. If one is missing, we cannot study, practice Dharma. And then 3, faith. The faith of trust, the faith of longing, and the faith of clarity. The faith of trust, causality. To understand non-virtue, first of all, just what it means, non-virtue. Some people doesn't make sense. They say, what means non-virtue? What's wrong with that? No. So it's mentally, you have such a capacity to capture what it makes sense, non-virtue and virtue. So through the non-virtue brings the suffering. Through the virtue, it brings the peace and happiness. So that's why Buddha taught Four Noble Truths. Buddha said, you understand the nature of the suffering and understand the cause of suffering and avoid the cause of suffering. See? You should understand the cessation of cause of suffering and the suffering itself. And you should follow the path to achieve the cessation. See? So having understand that, to reflect on that, it's called the faith of trust. You trust the causality. Everything what you do, it becomes the cause to bring results. So we have to have such kind of wisdom, awareness, what I am doing now, that it will become a cause for my future. I cannot say, oh, I wish our future would be a beautiful life. I wish everything will go well. I pray my life will be beautiful without looking at the cause. Today, what I'm doing, it becomes the cause for tomorrow. So all things that future, whatever will come, it depends on the cause that what we are making today. So today, our action, physical, mental action, whatever we are creating, that becomes a cause for the future. As you know, sometimes we say, now this last year was very bad, and this, that. So hope next year will be better. So next year will be better or not depends on the cause. If we create the same cause, how we can expect next year will be better? It's a causality. See, so we need such kind of mental acuity, the acuity of the mind, clear mind, that each different action we're putting, that becomes a cause for the next. So that's why Buddha said, if you want to achieve the cessation, follow the path. So now look at all the path, you know. So it's all in front of us. So that's what I'm saying is the precious human life has all this opportunity. So said, don't waste this opportunity. He's saying, Lord Jigten Sumgon is saying, don't attach to the body itself. Because the body going up and down, you see. If you look at it in the autumn, so I mean in the fall. In the fall, the flowers are so, delicate, venerable. In the high altitude place, you see, today the flower is so beautiful, fresh. And if that evening, that night, frost is frozen, next day the flower is gone. So it's so venerable, that flower, in the fall. Here we don't see so much the frost, like in Asia, especially in the Himalaya, high up in the Himalaya area. The crops, the barleys, not fully ready yet, but sometimes overnight frosts. Next day, all the crops are gone. So all the farmers, they say, now all the crops are gone. Now what should we eat? So like that, flower, they say, you see. Saying our bodies like that, you see. Sometimes you can see some food you eat cannot digest. Next day, you can't walk. You can't get up. So fragile, you see. So that's why I say, when we're getting old, we have to be very careful about what we eat. What's good for us, what's not good for us. We're we're eating all the best food, and we're complaining all the time. You see? We get all the doctor's advice. Doctor says, this good, this for good, this good, this good, this good. Take all these supplements, you know. But then at the same time, we complain all the time. Look at this real life, you see. Don't know. So therefore, no, of course, you, as I mentioned, you should care, but that's the reality, nature of our body, and how much we can practice Dharma, especially this precious human life we have. We can practice the bodhicitta. See, the bodhicitta can practice with this precious human life. No other sentient beings can practice. No? And we can practice the emptiness, Mahamudra, this life, with this precious human life. So precious, you see. So this body is like the, you see, a bridge, such a bridge to cross the ocean of samsara. This body is a boat, a ship, which can cross the Pacific Ocean of samsara to achieve complete enlightenment. So reflect on this. So Lord Jigten Sumgon is saying, you should not attach to your body. No, don't concern about that, but practice Dharma. So you see, the autumn flower of youth kind of process just within a day. So how much you can attach to this. But due to the attachment, how much suffering is there? You know? When you are so attached to ourselves, there are some people when they're young, so beautiful, when they get old, they dare not show their face to others because I look so awful. Always tense, not relax, you see. So if you know how to practice, no, you relax. Doesn't matter what you're looking, what you look. No. Just be natural. Just be it. What we need is the beauty of the bodhicitta. So when you take shower, take the shower of the bodhicitta. Wash all our delusions. No? And practice this. When we take shower, release all our grasping. The shower of the emptiness, release all the grasping. All these mental delusions, let go. Purify, fresh yourself. Make your mind like the space. See? This was to see when I was in the 3 years retreat. So after 3 years, our retreat master was very sick. Now there's really no chance he going to recover. But one day we went to see him. One of my friends told our retreat master, "Oh, you lost a lot of weight, you know." And he just repeated this. No. He repeated this. He said, when you see the growth and the decline of the four elements of the body, the illusion of strength and ability is also a lie. See, it's all illusory nature. When we are strong, it's very illusory nature. When we are weak, it's very illusory nature. Within in the illusory nature, there's no difference. The strength and the weak. The strength and the weakness, there's no difference as an illusion. This all because everything is constituted within the causality. When the causes and conditions there, something manifests that constitutes. When the causes and conditions are declining, that is not there. It's all a manifestation, as you see. It's all a reflection. Like when your face can reflect from the mirror. Whatever your face is there, it will reflect from the mirror. So it's just reflection. So all these things are reflection of the cause. So cause, there are two, you see. Reflection from the causes and conditions, and the reflection of the mind. See, all the causes and conditions that whatever we created, that reflects the result, manifests the result. Now to experience that depends your mind. How your mind can accept that. So when we have wisdom, understanding, letting go, all this, when you have mental capacity, we have that kind of reflection. When we don't have the wisdom, let go, attached to it, we have that kind of reflection. So it's all is a reflection of the mind and a reflection of the causes and condition. So meditate on this. Everything they manifest, they go. So the mind, that's what we have with us. And we have to take care of the mind. Take care of the mind with wisdom, with compassion, with the skillful means. We should learn how to refresh your mind, relax your mind. Oh, this whatever is coming, news everywhere, there are so many things you see. Everywhere, all the different countries, they're changing, depending to the many causes and conditions, you see. Nobody can control. Everyone is working hard for their own way, but sometimes lack of the wisdom, lack of the compassion, and due to such great ego, self-grasping, then brings the most suffering. But because of your ego, attachment, then it makes the situation more suffering. Even in the samsaric, So just meditate on this. Look at this, you see. So we should make ourselves the best friend. Who can make you best friend? Ourselves. All the outer conditions, you cannot make a best friend. If they changed. Now what you can do? But you can be your best friend. You can give yourself best comfort. See, that is our Dharma practice is about. So samsara is very treacherous road. There's a lot of these eight worldly concerns, all these delusions, this all are surrounded in our mind. It's very treacherous. Then we are going through the treacherous road. Sometimes we fall into this hell realm, hungry ghost, animal. Due to these our mental delusions, nobody can throw us to these realms except by ourselves. So Dharma is wisdom. It's an indispensable method. We reflect, we practice. See, actually everybody needs to practice this. Everyone needs, not just one person, two person, or not just only by Buddhist. Everybody needs this wisdom. But everyone don't have this. That's why those who we have this opportunity, we are so fortunate. Somehow, from our previous life, did something good that connected us to the Dharma. No? And now it is depend us. There's no one to blame outside of us. We have to take our own responsibility by ourselves. No? Study, practice, you see. That's Dharma teachings. So you cannot attach, as basically saying, as I mentioned, we cannot attach to this body, this five skandha that we have. But this is a tool we use to study, practice Dharma. We cannot attach to our youth body. So when I was young, I used to be like this, that, now I cannot. So they were depressed, That doesn't solve the problem, We cannot become younger anymore, no. No any scientists because found yet any theory how to make young. There are a lot of pills, as I mentioned, supplement pills. So anti-this, anti-aging, there's so many pills out there. Now, how many you are taking all those things? How are you becoming younger or not? So yes, now I'm like I'm the 20s, 30s. I'm very good, We don't have that, you see. So we have to accept where we are. That's the best. When we know how to accept and then practice Dharma and enjoy the Dharma practice. Especially enjoy the bodhicitta. I think so nowadays, these days, difficult time, especially like this, pandemic, all these things, difficult things there, we Dharma practitioners are so fortunate we have Dharma. who are really fortunate. You can develop such great compassion to all others who are suffering. We can practice immense of compassion to others. See? And you see, everything's illusory nature. They come and go. And meditate on this, you see. Relax on this. Then when you have more compassion in your heart, then you feel so light. You concern others, of course, there. But you are not depressed yourself. That's what is important is about. Some say, when I practice so much compassion, it comes the depression. That's not understand how to practice compassion. Here, practice compassion means purify all our mental delusions, our ignorance, our attachment, our anger, aversions, our greeds. Purify those. And then there's a wisdom and compassion that come together. See? So when the wisdom and compassion come together, then there's no so much attachment to self-grasping. And you feel so light. That's what here in relation to this precious human life, we should practice that. Then next he said here, when you see the gathering and the consumption of wealth, clinking and painful accumulation are also lie. Food and wealth are like a dew on a blade of grass. Think, can you put your trust in them? See, this all we know, We spoke this so much. Everybody is so concerned how to become millionaire, then billionaire, and then trillionaires, you see. Go on and on and on. There's no end, you see. Spend so much your life in that, thinking day and night, a business person, how to practice this. So there's so much pain there, you see, saying, you see, clinking and painful accumulation, you see. You have to try all these tricks, you see. And you have no compassion, you see. You have only greed. A relentless greed. How to how to manipulate others. See, if we have a compassion, we cannot do this. As I want to be rich, everyone wants to be rich. As I want to be happy, everyone wants to be happy. So make about this, you see. And what the wealth one has can benefit for oneself and others. Otherwise, like say, no, the leader of the one country, if he or she cannot become the leader, try many different ways how to become the leader and take advantage of the country. And how much suffering is there. See, we can see very easily, as I mentioned, this is not just Buddhism. It's not a Buddhist religion, but the philosophy of the samsara, the culture of the samsara. Nowadays, you can see everywhere there are so many problems due to lack of wisdom, due to lack of concerning others. Only selfish. No? And then when we're so much into the self, within that dimension, now it brings all the unwanted news, information. So then how much suffering is there, you see. And how much you create suffering others and to yourself. Then that there's so much anger, you see. Resentment. And that anger becomes so destructive. And finally, at the end of the day, not only destroys others, it destroys yourself. And there's no real peace and happiness. Now you see how much suffering is there. Look at this. So this is a Dharma teaching, Dharma practice. It's not saying, as I earlier mentioned, you should not become rich, you know. Of course, everybody can become rich. In the Buddhist history, if you read, you know, there's called universal monarchy, you know, universal monarch, you see, you know, who rules whole 4 continents, 5 continents, not just one country, you know. But those monarchs, those royals, have such great compassion to help the people in that whole country. Now, there's one, you know, history, I'm sure you have read in the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. Countless eons ago, there was a king in the country, such a powerful king. And there was a pandemic, disease spread all over. So the king was desperate how to take care of the country. So he just understood practice of the loving kindness. So then he gave the instruction, all the people in the country, so I want everybody to contemplate on the practice of loving kindness. And he instructed that, and everybody practiced that loving kindness. All the details. Since all the mind of the people become clear, free from these negative thoughts, malicious thoughts, and by the power of that, this pandemic slowly disappeared. And all the people in the country became well. Oh. So then what he said, he taught not to harm any animals, sentient beings, because you are practicing loving kindness. Well, you are practicing loving kindness, how you can harm others' life. So he taught that. Since he taught that, then there are 5 yakshas who are eating flesh. So they haven't got any flesh. So then they just come to the king. So we are hungry. We haven't got food for many days. Can you give us food because we're hungry? So then the king ordered his attendants, feed them. When those attendants they tried to feed them, they said, we eat flesh. We can't eat this normal food. So then those attendants went to the king. So these 5, they want flesh and we don't have. So then the king was thinking, what should I do now? I can't harm anybody else and to feed somebody else. So then the king finally thought, now I have to give my own flesh. So then the king started giving his own flesh. So it seems the king was highly accomplished in the practice of the bodhicitta, special practice of the emptiness. So then when the king cut some flesh from his body and fed them, and those 5 yakshas, they were so inspired. Oh, you protect our life while we are dying. Now through this practice, so we are sure you will achieve enlightenment. Please protect us from this samsara. So the king dedicated, now through these activities, I helped all my country fellow members, and including these 5 yakshas. So this is very temporary, but through this practice, definitely one day I will achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. That time, may I help them to free from samsara. So he dedicated that. So our historical Buddha Shakyamuni, when he attained the Buddhahood, the first 5 disciples. The first 5 disciples were those 5 yakshas. That time I gave my flesh. Now this time I give my wisdom. That time I protected from their hunger. Now this time I protect this from samsaric suffering. Then along with that, all the sentient beings that Buddha benefited, liberated from samsara, and those individual citizens of that country. See, so we practice Dharma teachings with this way. It's the optimal project, the absolute solution of the project, Dharma study, practice. There's so many ways, skills we follow step by step. It is not easy thing, but it's a mental training, mental journey. We may face many difficulties, no doubt, but there's always method, refresh, sometimes we need to postpone. Sometimes we are not ready yet, but at the end, we just follow forwards, step by step, until we achieve the Buddhahood, enlightenment. Make sense? Do you like to have a short break? Yeah, first please take a deep breath. And during this break, first you take deep breath and exhale. During the break of this about 10 minutes, refresh what we went through. And if you have any questions, we can discuss. Om Banza Sato Samaya, Mano Palaya, Banza Sato Tenoba, Dita Dedo Membawa, Sudu Kayo Membawa, Subu Kayo. Anorado Membawa, Sorwa Sete Me Prayaza, Sorwa Karma Suza Me, Sedan Shriya Kuru Hung, Ha 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 Ho. Sorwa Tatanga Banzara Mame Monza, Banzem, Ma Samaya Sato. Okay, thank you.